Valorant child game. Look to cartoon graphics to make kid player happy like children show. Valorant cartoon world with rainbow unlike Counter-Strike with dark corridor and realistic gun. Valorant like playhouse. Valorant player run from CSGO fear of dark world and really.
The bigger they are, the harder they
Such a wise words. God bless you, my beloved viewers, and if you didn't understand what just happened, me neither. Welcome to my channel. People here don't understand anything at all. Today I decided to review Valorant as a CSGO player with 12,000 hours because it's been exactly a year since the game got released. I played the game for a solid 4 days, completed calibration, and wrote down every positive and negative aspect of this game. But I want to warn you, my dear 9-year-old keyboard warriors, that this is just my opinion, and if you'll find anything of what I'm going to say in this video offensive, maybe consider going back to Minecraft, because you don't need to be a professional chief to figure out that you're eating shit instead of food. But if you're eating shit in the first place, maybe consider going to doctor. After installing Valorant, it greeted me with an amazing quest, figuring out how am I supposed to add my friend to play with me. And all of the quests in Resident Evil were not as hard as understanding where am I supposed to write my friend's name and where do I put his right ID. Maybe because we both were on heroin, but it took us around 30 minutes to add each other into a lobby, where in Steam I could have done that maybe in like 2/3 minutes.
Valorant, я твою маму.
Как вы добавляли друг друга раньше, если эта фигня не работает? Да, есть.
О, наконец-то. Без пробела надо было.
After finally figuring out how to invite my mate into the lobby, we obviously had to play a certain amount of unranked games, but dear Valorant didn't tell us what specific amount of games had to be played before allowing you to play competitive game mode. For example, in CSGO, you only need to get a private rank 2 to get access into competitive game mode, unlike in Valorant, which allowed me to play competitive after playing 2 casual games, but my friend for some reason had to play more than me. When I finally got into the game, I realized one interesting feature. First of all, during the calibration, you can play without any cooldown as many games as you want, while our dear CSGO only allows you to play 2 games a day and then sets you on a competitive cooldown for 24 hours. But who gives a shit about that? Let's talk about the gameplay. First thing that I noticed is the fact that all of the weapons are allowed on both sides. So as my friends told me, the game is mainly defensive and geometry of the map is made the way that defense always has an upper hand. But why would developers make such a stupid mistake by allowing every side access every weapon? I have no idea. I think it makes the game mostly defensive, unlike in CS where Ts have access to AK, which is a stronger weapon than CT's M4. But I thought that maybe passive playstyle won't be a problem, and oh god, I was wrong. But later about that. During gameplay I noticed that models are moving way slower than in CS, considering the fact that in Valorant maps are huge, and I don't understand why would you put such a low moving speed on players, but that instantly made me realize that this gives me an advantage that is called crosshair placement. Unlike in CSGO where you can get Xantares picked, this game makes it really easy to out-aim people that are picking you because they move really slow. But my dear lord, that brings us to another huge problem that I noticed in Valorant, and it's called like cancer maps. Like the maps are so big and the amount of angles that you need to check where potential opponent could be standing is insane. It's like whenever I'm going somewhere in Valorant, I feel like I'm going out of Dust to B tunnel, enemy could be everywhere and I don't even know where to look at. After playing my first game on a huge map called Breeze, very creative name by the way, I started searching in menu where can I disable this map and choose something that is a little bit smaller and easier to understand for a brain damaged CSGO player. But I didn't find any option to choose a map. And guess what? There is no map choice in Valorant. So you have to learn every single map by doing what? Playing it like a Russian roulette? But at least in Russian roulette you can win by dying. But in Valorant you have to suffer through this S-raping, which is probably very enjoyable for League of Legends players, but not for me. While I was playing competitive game mode, I could not notice the fact that I'm still getting raped no matter if I want it or not. Because every single time I played against a sweaty pre-made of tryhards, but my teammates literally couldn't do shit, and of course since I don't understand the game and can only rely on aim, I had to take a place right with my teammates' dead mom in the grave. Amazing! Every single time I was either destroyed by 5 players perfectly executing the side, and sometimes, maybe sometimes, okay, I managed to get 1 kill, or I had had to play an amazing roleplay game called Retake, where I'm left in a huge disadvantage. Out of all competitive games that I played, I remember only one time when my team managed to get a defuse, but that was when I got 4 kills in the round. Oh, what is it you're saying? I don't hear you. Oh, I should get a pre-made, of course, I see, of course. In that case, how about you get a family that loves you and not the one that throws you into orphan, alright? Okay, I'm sorry, but is that a way that a game should greet a new player? When I'm playing CS in silvers, I have pure bots with and against me. Unless someone is smurfing, the situations where one team gets completely outplayed every single round would barely happen. There is one more funny fact that I noticed while playing. Whenever I'm playing Faceit solo or MM in CSGO, I used to people barely talking or not talking at all, but apparently in Valorant, I thought that I was playing with bots, not humans, because they didn't say a single word during all of the games that I played. Do you want to know why? Because apparently in Russia, where I live, voice chat is completely disabled. I saw Tweety complaining about Russians getting region locked in Faceit. Maybe you should switch to Valorant, Kevin. Your dream came true. I'm as far from tolerance as having sexual intercourse, but imagine if country like America would not be allowed to use voice chat in a video game. The entire Riot office would be destroyed after first day of releasing the game by American citizens. Did someone say America? Holy shit, I love guns! While playing with brainless people who barely know how to move their mouse, I realized that maybe it would be a better idea to kick them and replace them with a bot. But even here, Riot Games decided to put a cock in my mouse, because in Valorant you cannot kick anyone under any circumstances, no matter if you have a hacker, a griefer, or just a guy staying AFK. The only option that this game allows you to do is surrender, which I didn't use a lot because I'm not French.
One enemy remaining.
Ласт вот тут где-то был, да?
Хуйня.
Охуеть, как я должен это знать, блядь? Как он туда попал, блядь? Откуда я должен это знать? Откуда, блядь, я должен это знать? Ну я в ахуе, блядь. Что за команда, блядь, уебища?
Now, what about the gameplay overall? To be completely honest with you, I'm not even here to cry about all the characters and their stupid abilities, because when Valorant were releasing their project, they said that they want to create a first-person shooter where abilities will slightly affect the gameplay, and when they announced that, I was really hyped about the game. But in reality, it turned out that abilities is 60% of the game. I honestly think that learning to play one character in Valorant takes a lot of time and effort, and some people can find it interesting, but if I wanted to play a game where I need to use abilities, I would have stayed in Dota 2. But Valorant brings another huge problem. Since the game is mainly defensive and passive, and all of the characters have to use their abilities to defend or attack the side, it mostly reminds me of Rainbow Six Siege. I honestly don't understand how this game could even compete with CSGO, because the gameplay reminds me of Rainbow Six. Considering the fact that you need 13 rounds to win, I thought that average game duration should be lower than in CSGO, but in reality it's around the same or sometimes even longer. While I was playing, the games were getting harder and harder. I barely knew how to play my character and what abilities to use, but my opponents perfectly executed sight, flashed for each other, and never made any solo plays, while I had people that are even worse than me in my team. It seemed like I was placed in a rank that is way higher than mine, but my teammates were still way worse, until finally, for the last 2 Calibration games, System placed me somewhere around silver, where I managed to get around 20 to 25 kills per game, but I still didn't manage to win a single game. During Calibration, as I said, I didn't manage to win a single game, as you can see on your screen, and this is the rank that I got. I have no idea what that is, and I'm pretty sure that it's insanely low, but I couldn't care less because I'm uninstalling this garbage since I've had enough already. When Valorant was released, I saw a lot of people talking about the graphics in game being too childish, and that might be the key factor for me as well. I played a lot of games with different graphics and animations. For example, in Team Fortress 2, I really loved the drawing and graphics, and I still love them, but in Valorant, it's just, you know, it's just not for me. In my 21 years of virginal existence, I played a lot of single player and multiplayer games: Team Fortress 2, Dota 2, CSGO, Rainbow Six, PUBG, Fortnite, and many others, but I've never played such a piece of dog shit garbage as Valorant. As a super passive defensive game, it can easily compete with Rainbow Six, and if we rate it as a Rainbow Six competitor, I can give it a solid 8 or even 9 out of 10. But if you would compare it with CSGO, for me, I cannot rank this game higher than 1 out of 10, and that's maximum I can give to this game. I really appreciate you watching this video. Make sure to comment down below your opinion about Valorant, and if you want me to continue making videos in this style, please make sure to keep your video idea suggestions in my Discord. I really appreciate you watching. God bless you. I'm out.